So for a while, we've been wondering where Keith Lee has been because he was supposed to appear in the Royal Rumble. He didn't. He was gone for a few weeks. Then he came back. He was supposed to be involved in the triple threat match against Riddle, Lashley, in Elimination Chamber for the United States Championship. And out of nowhere, Keith Lee couldn't compete. He pulled out, and they replaced him with John Morrison. And Matt Riddle ended up becoming the new United States Champion. And that's how they took the belt off of Lashley. Lashley then eventually won the WWE Championship, and the rest is history. So we didn't know why Keith Lee was gone. We didn't know. We always had assumptions. Maybe it had something to do with Mia Yim. Maybe it had something to do with a family. Maybe it was part of his health. We had no idea. He always posted like these cryptic tweets saying, he'll be back bigger, stronger, and when the right time comes, I'll explain everything. So we never really got a clear-cut answer on exactly what happened with Keith Lee. And it went from being 1 week to 1 month to 2 months to 3 months. And then what? About 5 or 6 months now total. Keith Lee returned on Raw, which I talked about how he returned and basically got squashed by Bobby Lashley. But we're not here to talk about the booking of Keith Lee right now. We're talking about something a little bit more serious. So Keith Lee uploaded a video, I think called From January Till Now, I believe it was called. And it's a 5-minute video. I'll even see if I could try to find the clip and I can post it below the podcast right here. And I can even send a link over to the clip for the YouTube channel as well, so you guys can check out for yourselves. But it was basically Keith Lee doing a 5-minute video discussing and explaining what happened from January till now. And he went off on this video, first of all, saying that the first video was about 13 minutes, 15 minutes, so he wanted to redo it in kind of an abridged version by doing 5 minutes. So he talked about how beginning of January he got COVID. So he was pulled out of the Royal Rumble because of COVID. I think that news was quite clear. And Mia Yim, though, was also out of the Rumble. A lot of people were expecting, Keith Lee got COVID from Mia Yim, and which is not the case. Mia Yim, in fact, caught COVID from Keith Lee because she was taking care of her man, taking care of Keith Lee. In fact, she sacrificed a spot in the Rumble to be with her fiance and try to nurse him to health and try to take care of him as much as possible. And because of that, she got COVID. So a lot of those fans blaming Mia Yim, I should say, for the whole COVID stuff can go fuck right off. So that was the COVID stuff. And then Keith Lee returned after a few weeks, and he had a match with Riddle and was planned for the Chamber pay-per-view, like I said, in the triple threat with Lashley and Riddle for the U.S. title. And he got pulled out. And the reason why Keith Lee was gone for so long, for months, was due to his health. But we didn't know how extreme his health was. Like, we didn't know exactly what he meant by his health. Was he just... It could have been numerous things. But it turns out Keith Lee, I believe, had his heart, I think, was... he had potential heart disease. I believe they said his heart was... I think, what was the term? I think... inflated? Not inflated. Infiltrated? I forgot the exact term he used. But basically, there was a possibility that he was having heart disease. And basically, he told the story how he almost came close to death. Keith Lee actually almost died. And it's scary to think that the last time we had a wrestler had some sort of disease and could have died was Roman Reigns. When leukemia came back and he was gone for months. We had the blood cancer. He had the forfeit Universal title and he was gone for months. Then he returned shortly before WrestleMania 35 the following year when he had that match with Drew McIntyre. But Keith Lee was almost in that Roman Reigns position where, but instead of blood cancer, it was something to do with his heart. And Keith Lee had talked about how, he couldn't exercise. He wasn't allowed to run. He wasn't allowed to work out. He wasn't allowed to do anything except for walking because it was that serious. And then he would go MRIs, which he talked about because of how big he is, how gigantic he is. He wasn't able to fit through those small MRIs. And if you've been into an MRI, you know how claustrophobic those things can be. Especially if your name is Jason and you're forced to listen to the Brie Mode song. And you can't even move, so you're stuck listening to Brie Mode. Little shout out to Jason there. But in a serious matter, Keith Lee had to go MRI after MRI and had to not work out because when you work out, it pumps up your heart. You know, your heart rate goes up. And because of the potential heart disease that he had, it could cause him to get inflamed and get bigger and bigger to the point where it could have possibly killed him. And Keith Lee would go to the doctor's emergency room constantly every now and then to get checked up. Until eventually, I think WWE sent him to Pittsburgh to get checked out and more MRIs and more testings. And basically, long story short, after months of doing this, he'll try to stay low profile, try to do his best to take his time with this and don't rush it. Eventually, when he went to the doctors again, they told him that his heart was normal, it was stabilized, and he was able to work out again. He was able to kind of run the ropes, and then that's when he came back to Dallas. He made his return to Dallas to fight Lashley, like I said. And Keith Lee even said that he wasn't too sure if he was even going to make it to Dallas. He didn't know that. Because, like I said, anything could have happened. The doctors could have said, nope, you can't do this. You got to wait longer. But thankfully, Keith Lee, I guess, followed the rules and just dodged the bullet. And again, this is more of the Clip Notes version that I can remember on the top of my head. Like, Keith himself talks about this in more detail and does a better job explaining exactly what happened. But this is basically the Clip Notes version. So, to sum it up, Keith Lee almost died due to serious health issues. And if it wasn't for following the doctor's advice and taking his time, he could have been dead. It's scary to know that, again, booking aside how badly booked he was booked on WWE, but to know that this man, who's been widely regarded as a very respected individual, a very talented individual, could have been dead. We could have witnessed another young wrestler dead this year. And that's kind of a scary thought that it came so close. We had our suspicions as fans that it was probably having to do something with health issues. And then it turns out not only was it health issues, but it was way more serious than we thought. All I'm going to say is, regardless how you feel about Keith Lee being bullied and all that stuff, I want to say, honestly, I'm happy for Keith Lee. I'm happy that he's alive. I'm happy that he's doing well. He's able to compete. And, he's able to do what he loves. And his fiance, Mia Yim, is doing good. And she's been just... And that's the one common thing is Mia Yim has been supporting Keith Lee this entire run. And I got to give that woman a lot of credit. Say what you want if you think she's not that good or your fan of yours or not. It doesn't matter. That is a very loyal partner to have when they're willing to stand by your side and help you out in very difficult, serious times. So the fact that that people actually blame Mia Yim for all Keith Lee's problems, like I said, they could go screw themselves. And Keith Lee just has... I gotta respect the guy that just has a loving, caring partner in his life that's willing to sacrifice Rumble spots, to sacrifice pay, to sacrifice time for WWE, to take care of her man, and to do whatever she can to make sure to make sure he's healthy, I should say. That's what you just call somebody who's just loyal. And I truly respect Mia Yim for that. And I just hope maybe now we could hopefully see Mia Yim get back in the ring soon, because I do miss her. She was supposed to be on SmackDown, but like I said, because of this whole situation with Keith Lee, I understand why we had seen her on TV. I mean, it was probably her choice to say, hey, I don't want to be on TV. my husband, my fiance, could potentially die. I need to be there for him. I need to take care of him. But Keith Lee is back now, and he seems to be doing fine. Like I said, his heart's stable now. He seems to be doing pretty good. So, like I said, it's a very scary situation knowing that we came this close to losing such a good human being, a great talent like Keith Lee, and we would never known about it. It's hard to kind of grasp that this guy could have died. Like, this is how serious this was. This wasn't just some random health issue, like he had the cold or something. Like, he almost died. And all I can say is the guy is just limitless. He beat death. He took death and he kicked his ass. That's basically what Keith Lee did. So Keith Lee is the man. I'm glad he's back in the ring. I hope, as of right now, he's doing better in terms of health-wise. I hope he can stay healthy. I'm hoping he can continue this path and continue doing what he loves. And I gotta say a big thank you to Mia Yim for sacrificing her push and her spots to be with her man and to take care of him. And don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to them. They're just pricks. Just to be pricks. Keith Lee, I'm just happy the guy's alive and he's doing better. I'm glad Mia Yim is doing a lot better, and they seem to be doing a lot better now. And I just hope it's just an uphill battle from here. Or not uphill battle. Well, not downhill. I guess uphill battle. I know what, well, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm just hope everything is keeps going up. There's a bright side to all this, I guess is what I'm saying. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is I hope everything goes up from here and everything can remain to stay positive and only good things can happen coming out of this. But there is a very scary situation that we almost lost a very talented and good human being. And we're just fortunate enough that he's still alive and he's able to continue to do what he does and support his fiance. And we still get to see him compete. And whether that's still in WWE or if he decides to leave, we're just fortunate enough the guy is alive and healthy, at least at this moment. So I just want to say, Keith Lee, glad you're alright. You're a kick-ass human being. And me and you're one tough son of a bitch because you had to put up with all that shit. You had to put up with all this drama and this scary times, and you just stood by your man and you took care of him. And because of that, we're all grateful that you decided to take care of your man and do whatever you can to make sure he came out in one piece. And now he's able to still do what he does, and you still have someone you could be with and cuddle with that night. So it's just it's a scary situation, but at the end of the day, as of right now, things are all looking up from here. So just want to kind of say that.